The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here's Brandon.
Happy 4K BLUsday, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is the video companion to the 4K BLUsday segment of the Brandon Peters Show podcast, which you can find at thebrandonpetersshow.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. Thank you for coming in. As I mentioned before, this is a companion piece to a podcast where I showcase some of the items that were mentioned and talked about on that show. So listen to that first, come on over here and watch it, or do it in reverse. That's kind of fun too. And as always, I wanted to mention that this is a kind of a passion thing. I have a real knack for this stuff and a background, professional background in it, and it's meant to be a embracing and in-depth look at these things, not a look what I have and you don't. I really don't want it to be that. As a matter of fact, I don't want it to be an ego thing at all. I want to plug Justin Sluss from High Def Disc News. I want to plug his YouTube page as well, his Twitter, but his YouTube page has been doing some phenomenal stuff with taking 4K screen captures and showcasing comparisons with the Blu-ray. So go on over to him. After this, subscribe to us both. If you come from him, cool, thank you. He's been a real big supporter of this show early on, and I really appreciate that, Justin. And so let's get to it. First off, I'm going to take time to show is finally my Doctor Who Fury from the Deep Steelbook came from the UK. And this is the second Doctor adventure from the 5th season. It's the second to last story serial from that season. It's a missing story where the episodes were junked by the UK back in the day, and they've been lost since. There's still some clips available. There's a whole myriad, lengthy history on missing episodes and the like that I could spend episodes upon episodes going over. As a matter of fact, go to Josh Snares on YouTube, has great documentaries that he's made on these that are high quality, very professional, very informative, well-researched, great content. So go over there, you'll learn about that. But for these episodes were missing, but the audio is there because fans used to record them off TV back in the 60s. So we have that. We also have telesnaps, which were pictures of the episode from like film reels because they didn't have audition reels back in the day. They didn't have a demo tape. So people could buy these stills of them saying, look, this was me in Doctor Who. This is what a picture of my acting looks like. And that's how they could get a role or something like that. Now, the BBC have been doing for roughly over about close to 15 years now, not quite. And it's been an on-off process, but right now it is on. But they've been animating the missing episodes so you can watch it instead of a bunch of stills playing with the audio, which you can find. Loose Cannon has done some great work on those if you can find those to watch. But this is Fury from the Deep. This is a very popular story. Comes with a booklet. You can check this out. And it's got information about coming to the serial with animation, pictures about this Patrick Troughton story. It's a 3-disc set. So they animate it in black and white. They animate it in color. And they do the stills. So they do the telesnap reconstruction of it. So any fan of any of this can watch it the way they want. And Chris Chapman's put together some great bonus materials for it. So you can see it. Here's the inside. Yeah, these are that scene. That's in here. That's animated. But the film exists for it. And I watched the animation, watched the black and white one. It's really, really good. But that scene, they do what they can. But the live action one, which is available, is top notch. That's also the story where Victoria departs the TARDIS. It's her last story. It's got Jamie, Patrick Troughton. I love Patrick Troughton. He's one of my favorite doctors. I can watch 60s Who with him any day of the week. This one follows the faceless ones in the series of them coming out. They have 2 animation teams now, and the first animation team had been doing a lot of season 4. They did the Power of the Daleks, the Macro Terror, and the Faceless ones this year. The second team began, and they're starting with Fury from the Deep. There was also a redo of Power of the Daleks this past summer, and that one's delicious. Order that one up. They did a real good job. I love every time they have an animated classic Doctor Who story come out. I set aside all the time in the world to make the time for it. This one's no different. I know there's been some eeriness about the long arms in that, but the fluid animation and the kind of cartoony nature of it, I'm not as bothered as by some. I really enjoyed this. And it's a nice, fresh, like, ooh, a little different animation. I like it. I can't wait for them to make another announcement. It feels like it's been forever now that we knew about Fury from the Deep almost a year ago, and it's finally come out. But that came out 2 weeks ago in the UK. I don't know if the steelbooks are still available, but the regular edition is at a good price. Import it. Oh gosh, it's so good because they only do DVDs in the US for some reason, and that thing's not coming out till next year. Like the UK is far ahead. It's region free. As long as you don't have a Blu-ray player, which hiccups at the to select audio navigation part, usually won't play past that. For those, don't know why. I think Xbox people sometimes have problems, but I can't confirm that. But I know from Sony's, those won't play. They'll get stuck. But enough Doctor Who. I could talk about Doctor Who for hours and hours. And don't worry, Old Space Show will touch on Doctor Who. So we'll get back to Doctor Who. Next, I got Little Monsters and Shivers arrived for me from the Vestron Video Lionsgate. This came late. They were out, I think they came out last week. But hey, better late than never. And I reviewed both of them on whysoblu.com. They posted over the weekend. It's a little Fred Savage movie. I showed it to my kids. They liked it. They had a good time with the movie. It's got a great interview with Howie Mandel on here where they have some like fun with showing the lights going on and off and acting like a monster's there. And he's really blunt and honest about things too. He wasn't happy making this movie. Shivers, Cronenberg's first feature film. It's got Barbara Steele. It's kind of like a beta test for Cronenberg stuff. It's all the hallmarks of what he would become are here, and it's gory. It's kind of erotic, sexual horror stuff, and it takes place in an apartment building. But it's a pretty solid watch. I don't know if it's like the greatest thing, but if you're a Cronenberg fan of 70s horror, Romero, there's a very Romero feel to it as well, like that Pittsburgh kind of shot stuff, but that's in there as well. Next up, I've got Stargirl, which was on the DC Universe and then ended up on the CW when they needed content because of the pandemic. I've begun diving into this. I'm going to be, my review should be up maybe today when I post this or Wednesday. I'm closing in on finishing the first season. Gotta be careful. There's a little insert with the episode guide. I'll show you the other side of that. There we go. This one, it's a 3-disc set. Sorry, the one they sent me has a little broken thing right there, so I don't want to fall out. This one's kind of very much like another Smallville when it comes to these. So it has more in common with that than it does Flash and Arrow stuff. It's a high school show. High school heroes, high school villains, and such. Luke Wilson's pretty fun in it. Amy Smart, I like Amy Smart. She shows up in it. It's a pretty solid show. I don't know. I highly recommend, but if you're like curious and checked it out, I guess it'd be okay. If you got a family, this is a pretty good one. There's a couple little instances, choice language and stuff, but it's fine. This just arrived for me today. I will be reviewing it soon. It's Valley Girl, the musical remake of the 1980s film. And I know why, Brandon, why'd you do that? But I like Jessica Roth a lot. She's the girl from Happy Death Day. She had a little small part in La La Land. And I don't know, I think she's pretty cool. And I want to see her in other things. So I guess this is what I'm limited to here right now. And who knows? Maybe it'll be fun. Maybe it'll be all right. But it's never going to make me forget the Nicolas Cage one. We're good. I also got from Warner Archive last week. I pulled in Drop Dead Gorgeous. Go back and revisit this little one. review will be up some point in the next couple weeks on whysoblu.com. And I also got Reversal of Fortune. This has Jeremy Irons and Glenn Close and Ron Silver. There we go. Pretty good one. Next, I wanted to showcase a couple things. I mentioned on the podcast that Eye of the Tiger with Gary Busey is coming out. That used to be on DVD as part of this 4 action-packed movie marathon from Shout Factory. It came with the Alienator, Cyclone, and Exterminator 2. A good night going all through all 4 of these. That's where I was before. Like a Cyclone. Heather Thomas, never did much past Cyclone, huh? Just a couple of TV actors or whatever. So, but, you know, there's another one, 2, I might have talked about. Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, but the movie we really want is Bulletproof with Gary Busey. That was in this set. That had Bamboo Gods and Iron Man, Track Down, and Scorchy, which Shout Factory put Scorchy out. So, there's this one. And why do we want Bulletproof, folks? Well, it's a bit of a silly movie, but come on, we need this scene in high definition.
The fuck is this?
Your worst nightmare, butthorn.
McBain!
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? Come on, butthorn. Come on, your worst nightmare. Awesome. Now, again this week, I don't have my pick of the week. My Cruel Jaws is set to come on Friday from Severin Films. But you know what? Also, I still don't have my Full Metal Jacket. Like, the shipping stopped at a city. It was supposed to arrive last Wednesday. I was going to do a quick little video to show it. Still not here. Am I bitter? I don't know. Right now I don't have a lot of time, so maybe it's better for Full Metal Jacket. But I want to show you, since Cruel Jaws had the odd slipcover that is not allowed, that if you hurry up and ordered it, they could send it to you. The last time they did this was Shocking Dark, because that one was one time sold as Terminator 2, which it's not Terminator 2, but they made this. And when they sell it, they blur out this so you can't see it. So they're like, come on, you know what it is. But when you pull it out, you find out it's Shocking Dark. But this is kind of like an Aliens and Terminator thing. It's good, Italian, sleazy, schlocky, midnight movie madness, and it's awesome. And the coolest part of it is the Severin Films goes ahead and puts it there. And lastly, my vintage pick, which I wanted to show because of Old Space Show. Which, you guys like an Old Space Show? I'm like an Old Space Show. Good. So the first on Old Space Show, if you're not watching it, listening to it on the podcast, we're talking about the first season of Space 1999. Mr. Jim Dietz from Nothing's On podcast and I are talking episode by episode of the first season. I wanted to showcase that this is how I'm watching it. On the Shout Factory release from last year, which was the first time that season 2 was released. So they come in their own Amaray cases per season. So here's season 1. And discs aren't, I mean, they're cool and all, but, you know, inside there. All the episodes are here. And then, pull out season 2. Year 2, as it's called in here, which they really change up things. The guy who did Star Trek, third season comes on, and it goes that way. It changes. Some like it better. I mean, there's fans of both here and there. This one's a bit more campy. The other one is is campy, but it's not intending to be, because, you know, it's trying to be more serious side. A lot of 2001: A Space Odyssey influence in there. Last, they have the bonus disc for it. It's the special features, which has a new Barbara Bain interview on it, and it's loaded. It's what you need. I mean, you're set with Space 1999 after this set. So that's what I'm watching with. So I appreciate you checking this out. Subscribe to the channel if you want. You know what? Do what you gotta do. Or check these videos out wherever you can. We'll be back next next Tuesday. I'd like to thank Why So Blue. They're the sponsor of 4K BLUsday. Special shout out to Brian White and again Justin Sluss. He's a good supporter. Check out his screen grabs of things. And if you're a distributor and you'd like to see your Blu-rays featured on this show, you can hit me up at mail@thebrandonpetershow.com, brandon@whysoblu.com, or find me on social media at brandon4kuhd. And tomorrow on The Brandon Peters Show, Old Space Show returns for the second episode of Space 1999, My Matter of Life and Death. And there will be another episode on the podcast Thursday and Friday. So it's a pretty exciting week. And I hope everyone's doing well. And if there is something you'd like to see me showcase or whatnot, make a request. I'll do it if I have it. And as always, there's reviews up on whysoblu.com. So thank you. And remember, always keep the positivity in your online film chatter.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at thebrandonpetershow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail@thebrandonpetershow.com. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.